Great. So, here we go. Someone else has just joined the call. Here's Laura. Right. So, hello and welcome to the very first Fabulous Food Finds tasting experience. So this live tasting goes along with the tasting boxes that you've all got and bought. So thank you so much for supporting this. So first of all, I'll quickly tell you who I am. So I'm Katie Truss. I live in North Norfolk. I've worked in food for the last sort of 15 years, but always have I've grown up in pubs and restaurants. So I've always been a foodie, basically. I'm not a food snob, so I don't ever feel that I, would judge you on anything you say about products. Obviously, taste is really subjective, so we'll all have a completely different experience of what we're tasting today and at any point, really. So no judging, no, don't worry about anything you say, and no silly questions either. So here on the call today, we have one of our producers who've made one of the fabulous products in the box, which is Leslie, and she makes so good kombucha. And we also have a couple of special guests. So I don't know if you recognise them, but we have Liberty Mendez, who has been working on BBC Good Food for years. We first met when I was doing one of our bursary tasting days, and Liberty was helping out with all the food, and it's just been brilliant, and has recently left to go freelance and is writing a cooking book at the moment, which is awesome. But she's basically here to enjoy the box, and I might ask some questions about some of the ingredients just to see what you might do with something.
No pressure.
Sorry?
No pressure.
No, again, no pressure at all. I'm just letting people in as we go along. Another of our special guests is Susie Pelter, who is an amazing baker, won Lorraine's, I can't remember if it's Lorraine's best cake or whatever it was, but you kind of just were awesome, and you do lots of demonstrations at the food show and lots of other food festivals and things, and again, you love finding new products and things, so I thought you'd be brilliant to come and join us on this call, so thank you. And again, I might put a little bit of pressure on you and see what you think of some of the products. Yeah, and so that's our introductions. What we're going to do today, so we're going to work our way through the products. I've put a running order together. We have Leslie's going to tell us about her product. We were going to have another founder, producer on the call, but in a very rock and roll way, he phoned me about 10 minutes ago and said he couldn't come anymore. So sadly, he won't be joining us live, but I do have a little video of him in action at the BBC Good Food Show. So we'll have a look at that and have a taste. So you are all asked to try the baked goods in the box first, because they didn't quite last until the tasting. We had quite a few logistical issues, I would say, with getting the boxes here, products to me, and getting them out. So thank you everyone for your patience as well. So I just quickly will tell you what Fabulous Food Finds is and where it came from. So when I was working for the BBC Good Food Show, my role was to basically find amazing food and drink producers. So I would go around the country, go around to loads of different food festivals. I've been to Italy to Turin to the Slow Food Festival, and Paris to the chocolate show and things like that. So found lots of food. I've done lots of judging, so I kind of know what people look for in a good product. There's certain things I don't like I don't like goat's cheese, I really don't like mustard very much, but I can tell when other people might like a product and really appreciate finding out from other people what they like in products as well. So really keen to get kind of feedback on the products that you've tried. But where we're going to start, if that's all right, Leslie, we're going to start with So Good Kombucha. And if you guys have a look at Leslie's name, so Leslie is Leslie So. And so I really love how you've used that in your name there. So I think the reason why I chose this product to go into the box, basically, kombucha can be a bit of a love-hate thing, and a lot of people are like, ooh, kombucha, oh, it's really sour and things like that. So I was just, well, when I tried this, I thought it was just really lovely drink, and obviously it's really good for you. And I'm going to let Leslie tell us more about what kombucha is, why she's made the product that she made, and kind of give us a bit more about it. So is that all right, Leslie, if I pass to you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi. Yeah, as Katie said, my name is Leslie So, and the product is called So Good Kombucha. The drink, I must say, is best drank cold. So I hope that most of you have had it in the fridge. Yeah.
That was in the instructions.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Yeah, so that's great. So the reason it's called So Good Kombucha is for a couple of reasons. So obviously the first bit is that it's my last name, and it's actually a family recipe. So my family has always made kombucha, and it's the So family recipe. So that's the first bit of it. And then the good is it represents actually a few things. So the first good is that I want this to be the best tasting kombucha in the UK, because as Katie's mentioned, there are lots of kombucha out there, loads with different types of flavor, and some of them, I mean, I've had before, are just so sour it's hard for anyone to drink in the general public. So I just want this to be a really nice tasting drink that people would choose to drink, not just because it's healthy, but because it's actually really nice. And the second bit of it is that it has to be good for your health. So kombucha, if you find some of the kombucha in the supermarkets, they don't even need to be refrigerated. But the whole point of kombucha is it's actually a fermented drink. So it continues, there's living probiotics in the drink. It continues to bottle ferment, and which means the drinks could get fizzier and fizzier as they develop. But the gut healthy bacteria is actually really good for you. So it's got loads of enzymes and bacterial organic acids and antioxidants and vitamins, and a lot of it is really good for not just gut health, but pancreatic as well as liver, and all of those things are good for you. It also helps with metabolism. So if you're looking for like weight loss, that's one of the things that could supplement that a healthy diet. And even, with fermented foods, there's actually been a recent article about how fermented foods like kombucha and kefir and kimchi are good for even preventing long COVID. So there's loads of good health benefits to kombucha. And that's the second good. The third good is that it has to be good for the environment. So that's why I've chosen to not use any plastics in my packaging. It's all recyclable. And for local distributors, I actually collect empty bottles, reuse them, sanitize them. And then the fourth good, finally, is there's a good social purpose. So the purpose of the business, it's to employ refugees and others who are marginalized in society, and just give them a leg up in order to, not have to go into the social benefit system, to be able to find purpose and hope through good work. So that's the four goods behind So Good Kombucha.
Thank you. I love it. I love that story and everything that you're doing. Does anyone have any questions for Leslie about about kombucha or about this product? Laura?
So I was just trying to work out how to unmute myself. Sorry.
No worries.
So Leslie, my son actually has irritable bowel syndrome.
Mm.
So would this be a good thing for him to drink? If he obviously, I mean, he's very good. He eats a wide range of foods, but he does have a lot of gut issues. So I'm just thinking about everything you said, and I had a little look. So I haven't opened it. I was patient. I did wait. I was really wanted to, but I did wait until tonight. So presumably it'd be a good thing for him to drink as a drink if he's got.
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's a great question, and actually, I would have to say that it, with a lot of people with IBS has found kombucha is useful, but what I don't want to say is that it is going to be useful, because
Oh no, I was
Yeah.
just asking for a general opinion sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, because you know, I think it's quite individual, isn't it? Like
Yeah, of
gut
course.
health and how your body reacts. So what I will say is that it does have live bacteria, probiotics, and a lot of people have found that to be useful. But then I think I would advise maybe trying a little bit to begin with,
Yeah.
and seeing how it goes, because I'll tell you a funny story. So I drink kombucha at least one every day, and I find that it helps to just keep everything regular, and it feels healthy even as I
Yeah.
drink it. But I've had a funny story where I met somebody who said, "Oh, I had your kombucha. I've never had kombucha before," and I had 4 that evening, because it's it's a good alternative to wine. So it was at a wine bar where this person decided they were going to stop drinking alcohol, and had 4 that evening. And she said, "My stomach didn't take to it well, because the next day I really had to go to the toilet." And I thought, I didn't argue with her at all, but I thought, gosh, your stomach is probably loving it. You know, it probably was very cleansing, and it was probably exactly what your stomach needed. But I probably wouldn't have advised her to drink from
Do all of
nothing
that in one
to
go.
4.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
It tastes amazing, and maybe I'm a complete, I don't know, dunce person, but I've never actually heard of kombucha, so I'm very sorry, but I haven't. So it's a really nice experience for me. It tastes amazing, so thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for answering my question. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope it works well for him. I mean, one of the reasons I have a bottle cap that you could actually put back on is to allow people to have that kind of experiment. You know, just have a drink, have a little bit to begin with, put it back in the fridge, and see how your body feels, and then have a bit more if you're comfortable. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's also low sugar, isn't it, as well? So a nice kind of like, you know, for kids, a fizzy drink, and you know, it's quite interesting. And I know my mum, you've recently got into kombucha as well, haven't you, Mum?
I have.
How does this one compare to ones you've tried?
It's really, really nice. I've tried one from, I hate to say it, Sainsbury's, but it's sort of like a sort of made in Australia, but it was quite sweet, and I'm not very keen on the sweet side of things. I prefer it a little bit more tart, like this is, but it's lovely, really, really nice. But I was interested, you said it speeds up the metabolism, your metabolic rate sort of thing.
Yeah.
How does that affect somebody who's got an underactive thyroid?
Oh,
Does it help?
Pressure.
Great question. Again, I'm not a nutritionist, so I don't have a background in this. So I must say I don't know is the answer. But yeah, one of the things that you'd mentioned about the fizziness, actually, I want to draw to that is that this drink is actually naturally fizzy. So the fizz comes from the fermentation process. And that's why there is a relatively short kind of use by date, because if it's not kept cold, it could continue to get fizzier and fizzier and fizzier, which could surprise some people if they've not, you know, had kombucha before. But yeah, back to your question, Jane. I can't say I know the answer to that, but
I'll let you know. I'll try some and keep going with it and see if I speed up a bit more.
I've got another question. Has this converted anyone from people that thought they maybe didn't like kombucha to liking it?
Yeah, I have it again.
Yeah, me, definitely.
Yeah.
I had a question actually, because Katie, you mentioned, you just said about kids, because obviously it's fermented and kind of got probiotics and stuff. Can children drink it does it help them, or should they not drink too much of it for their little tummies? What's the situation?
Yeah. So I think it's okay. I mean, the only thing is that it is unpasteurized. It's unpasteurized and unfiltered. But I would say the bottle is 330 ml, so it is quite a bit. But I mean, I have lots of customers. I mean, I drank it when I was a kid, so I know it's definitely okay. But if you check the small prints, I actually put in there that just to say, consult your GP if you're pregnant, if you're drinking it, you're pregnant. And I have had a customer who went to their GP and asked, and the GP's like, it's absolutely fine. So I feel fairly confident. It's just because I'm not trained as a medical professional nutritionist. So I want to err on the side of caution. But in my experience and in the experience of my customers is absolutely fine. Again, I would probably say don't drink loads and loads and loads of it. But yes, definitely it's safe for kids to consume.
Thanks. It's delicious. And what other flavors do you do? Is that kind of like a big range, or?
It's not a huge range. So at the moment, I've got 3 core flavors. So this is one of them. The other is a strawberry and basil.
Nice.
That one I find is probably the liveliest and also the most popular with children for sure. And then a third is gingerlicious, so it's ginger, lemon, turmeric. And I try to actually do a lot of seasonal flavors. So in the fall, I had an apple pie flavor. And what's coming up, actually, well, a bit of a bit of a sneak preview. Yeah, I'm gonna be bottling very soon a blue and yellow, so blueberry, blackcurrant, and lemon flavor to support the fundraising efforts for Ukraine. So it's calling it Peace for Ukraine. So blue and yellow. Yeah. So I try to come out with a lot of seasonal flavors.
Oh, amazing.
Nice.
Can I ask a quick question? You said to be able to put it back in the fridge for a little while if you've opened it. How long would you keep it in the fridge for once you've opened it once?
Yeah, so officially on the bottle it says 3 days, but sometimes I forget. I leave it in there for, I don't know, like weeks. Officially 3 days, but I just drink them.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank
Also,
you.
where do you stock them?
Oh, great question. Yeah. So we're just starting out in the business. So most of our stockists are on our website, sogoodkombucha.com. And most of them are actually quite local to Derby. We do have a few stockists in other parts of the UK. But then you can also order online. So I always ship next day before noon delivery.
Good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. Leslie, are you going to stick around, or do you want to head off?
I'm probably going to head off if that's okay. It's really nice to meet everybody. Thank you for trying my kombucha.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leslie.
Thank you.
Cheers. Oh, she's so sweet. Cool. Does anybody wanted to say anything? Did they really not like it? Not that I want to say it in front of her, but
very refreshing.
nice.
I think it's delicious.
Yeah, I think
it's really good.
I mean, my dad and Joe were like, "Oh, kombucha, I don't want to try that," but I think they found it all right in the end. A bit vinegary. No, don't like it.
No. I'm with Jamie.
Yeah, my partner doesn't like it.
Oh, really? I've had quite a few different kind of fermented like food products before, like jars of different things, but never actually had like an actual drink. And I think because of, I don't know whether it's just because you can maybe flavour it a little bit more than an actual food product that is actually kind of more fermented food. I think it's delicious.
Cool. Abby, what were you going to say?
Try it.
I think it tastes delicious. I'm a bit worried about what's going to happen though, because I've drunk the whole bottle. And that's a little bit at a time.
I
haven't drunk very much. That was my fear, and I work in a primary school, so I'm a bit like, yeah, I can't be dashing to the toilet that quickly, and I'm at work, so I thought I'll just drink a little bit today, and then I might try some more tomorrow. It's really nice.
I think the only issue is after 4 bottles. I think you're fine.
Yeah. I think we'll be okay after one.
I've just nectar bottled.
So nice.
We'll have to let us know tomorrow how they are.
Or feedback in the Facebook group. Amongst friends, you know. Cool. Right, I'm glad we like that one. I was going to go to Vesta Vodka, but he's just told me that he can make it a bit later. So we'll wait for the that's the mystery pouch as well, which you might not even know what it is yet. But we'll save that one. I was going to go on to that one, but we'll wait and see if he doesn't do a rock and roll, say he's going to be here again and then not turn up again. So we'll see. So what I realised after I put the box together, that it's actually quite a sweet box. So my apologies for that, but I would normally try and balance it out a bit. Where we're going to go next is to the savoury products that I've put in there, which are from the Savourists. So you've got 2 packets.
What are they?
Dad, you should know this one.
Come on, chocolate. It's not chocolate.
They're not chocolate. These ones are, so basically as well, this is, I don't know, I'm really glad it happened, but these guys completely incidentally and in no way related, but they're on Dragon's Den this week, which is really cool. I know.
I didn't see them.
No idea. So he was the guy is called, what is it? I don't really know much about them, to be honest, personally. So, but I found them and I thought I really like the sound of them. It's something savoury. The guy's name's Harry Turpin, and he was like from like the musical theatre. So if you watch back at the Dragon's Den, he does a little bit of tap dancing and things like this, and he's quite like theatrical. But basically they wanted to create like a plant-based functional foods, low sugar, something snacky. So we've got 2 flavors to go with. There's the black olive and nori seaweed, which is the darker of the 2, and then there's the sriracha or sriracha. I had to check how to pronounce it earlier because I didn't want to get it wrong. So if you were saying it authentically, apparently you'd say sriracha, but I'd say sriracha chili. So but let's go with the darker of the 2 first. So if any of you did watch Dragon's Den, they didn't get the funding, and one of the dragons was like,
oh no.
So if anyone really doesn't like it, the texture is quite surprising, but be open to it and try it and see what you think, because I
Is there anything else like this on the market? Because I was quite surprised when I saw a savoury snack bar, because
Like this.
you don't really see many of them. Is there any? There's not really many competitors to this in terms of a
no
like on the go snack bar that's not like sweet
They're all
or got like fruits and things in it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Deborah Meaden was like, oh yeah, this is what I really want.
Yeah.
Everything's got so much like sugar in it. He wants something like high protein. And there's like a barbecue flavour one as well. But I thought these were quite interesting. I mean, there is a lot of texture going on.
Wow.
I like that.
That's really nice.
Anyone?
It's quite nice. It's quite very texture in your mouth. I should have said though that I'm actually recovering from COVID for the 2nd time. My taste buds have all gone funny again, so it may be because of that as well. So, but no, it's different. It's nice.
I think it's lovely.
I really like it.
Different. Very different, but nice. It's not unpleasant at all. It's very different.
They're $1.85. They retail at $1.85 a bar, but yeah,
£1.85 that bar.
I reckon it really fill you up.
No,
I think that's about reasonable for a niche product, personally. But
yeah, I mean it's
try some.
seeds and rice and seaweed and all sorts going on. But I mean, yeah, they didn't get investment, but I think Deborah Meaden actually said that the packaging was really awful as well. And I don't think I quite like them. I think
I like it.
I can't believe they didn't like the taste. I think it's delicious.
I think it's really good.
Delicious. Very nice.
And I reckon it'd give you loads of, like, it'd really fill you up and like give you quite a lot of energy. Probably good for like fitness people as well. Just like an energy boost.
Gluten-free as well, which is another unusual one.
I really like it. Really like it.
Because I like it a lot. One, it's like
It's
a
really
packet of
nice that it's
bits,
not got
sweet.
it's a savoury thing. I
Only
don't know whether
garlic.
it's a bit of nuts thing, do you know? Because that would be a good thing for John. My other half is allergic to nuts and he can't eat chocolate either, and all the sweet bars have normally got chocolate in and things.
It does say it's produced in a factory that also handles nuts, peanuts. Oh, I didn't think I thought I'd sorted out these hats. You're not supposed to be here, miss. Sorry.
Yeah, there's no nuts in the ingredients, but it does say in a factory that handles
Well,
nuts.
I might try him on it. See if
Testing. And then, if we go for the other one as well, the
so good.
sriracha. Or sriracha.
I don't think I
It's
could
gonna be
say
really spicy.
sriracha.
You what, sorry?
I don't think I could say sriracha.
No.
I think it's like a paella. I don't think.
No,
Can't say paella.
croissant.
Harry.
Call it
Or terroir.
sriracha for me.
You like this chili one? Oh, sriracha. But sriracha, if you haven't tried, is like quite a nice sweet. Is it from there? Is it Thai?
Nice as well.
Korean?
Is it?
No.
That's lovely. I'll
Sriracha.
try that one.
Is it Korean?
Quite warm.
I'll find out.
That's the typical bar, thanks to warm.
I think it's the tomato. It's quite warm.
Yeah, no, but
I like that.
doesn't mean that you sometimes if you don't put very much.
This one's nice.
Have you gone?
Where does it say it's from?
No,
It's from, I think it's
just-
Thai.
if you want a chilli thing, a bit of that.
Anyone got a vacuum cleaner?
Thai.
It's very messy.
Too hot for me. That chili
Too hot.
was too hot.
For someone that likes to eat nuts, it feels like there's a lot of nuts in the product.
Yeah.
So we have someone in the family who's got an allergy and could probably enjoy eating that,
Yeah.
especially if they like the texture of nuts, because that's what I'm
I think
getting
it's
a
the
lot of.
lentils in it as well, and the pumpkin
Yeah, yeah.
seed.
Yeah, it does. It's surprising that there isn't any nuts in it because it does.
Yeah, it is,
have
isn't it?
that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Nice.
It's interesting that the first ingredient's chicory root.
Hmm.
It is, yeah, chicory root fibre.
Excuse me.
I think, though, other than the heat of this one, for some, I think that's a hit, isn't it?
That's
This one.
prefer that one. Too hot
Prefer
for
this
me.
one to that one, definitely.
Yeah.
You prefer the
Yeah,
chili?
not for- I
Yeah.
like the black one better.
I think I like the. I think I like the black one.
Yeah,
I
I like the black one better.
I think so. It's tart. It's close because they're both. I actually think they're both really delicious. But
Don't know which is
I think
better.
maybe the.
What do you think, Susie? You're into your snacks.
I knew you were going to ask me. I really like them. I always have an issue though when they say spicy chili, and I don't find it very spicy. But I think I just have quite a high tolerance to spice. But I thought they're both delicious. Really kind of hearty. You feel like you're getting a proper snack.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
I don't.
thanks. Right. Okay, we will move on. So, we might have gone a bit further than I thought. Right, so we are going to go for the little tin of spice. So I know Kath and Tanya attended the spice session at the Good Food Show, so they've actually already tried this. But it was based on the success of that session. Basically, I hosted a live tasting theatre at the BBC Good Food Show, and one of the sessions was with this company, Bowtree, and basically their ethos is, well, they started with their own farm, Bowtree, which is a in Kampot, and it's Cambodia, and a pepper farm. So peppercorns from Cambodia, like the champagne of pepper. And once they realised that people really loved like the very best spices that they could get, they decided to go around the world to find the very best like farms or growers or regions for different products. So this is sumac, and I'm interested to see, has anyone not tried sumac before?
I actually haven't.
Cool.
I haven't either.
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Oh, it smells amazing.
So it's weird, because if you have a look, if you Google sumac after this and have a look at the tree, you'll actually might, like, there's one at the end of my road just down towards the beach, and it's these gorgeous little red kind of like candle kind of shaped, I can't believe they actually grow here, but it's that red sort of velvety furry plant, like a tree. And this one's grown in Turkey, and it's in the wild, and they hand harvest it and then they cure it. So if you have had sumac before, you should be able to try this one and really sort of like tell the difference, that this is like an amazing, just a wow product basically. So have a little, this is obviously used as like an ingredient, but you can sprinkle on things. So it's very, I'll let you have a taste first, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about it.
That's really lovely, isn't it?
Mm.
So basically really citrusy, really fruity, really tart, tangy. So wherever you might want to use like lime or lemon, you could replace it with this. Lots of like ottolenghi recipes. Like I know Abby uses it a lot in her cooking, but I used it once with like a Diana Henry recipe, and it was sausages with plums and this pomegranate molasses and sumac and herbs and things, and it was just this gorgeous fruity dish. But is that surprising to anyone? I mean,
No, definitely.
Anyone have any ideas of what they'd do with it? Like how you'd want to cook with it, or sprinkle it on hummus, maybe?
Sprinkle it on anything. So good.
It reminds me of tamarind a little bit.
Yeah, a bit like tamarind.
The thing you put tamarind in that.
And citrusy and zingy.
Yeah.
I think I've been using it in lots of cooking. I need to look up some recipes now for sumac. It's been a bit of an eye-opener for me. Because I thought, well, what's that dry dusty stuff that Karen brought me from Turkey 10 years ago? And this is totally
Amazing. I know, like we've got this local like takeaway that does, it's like they do like loaded fries, but they marinate their chicken, and they're like, and it's in this secret Turkish spice, and I know it's this. I know they use this, and they put it in with like an onion and parsley salad, and it's just so like tasty. And the thing that they did at the Good Food Show, they added it to like a chili as well, and that combination, like a really savoury chili, was just so good. But I'll share in the Facebook group or on email. I'll give you a link to some recipes and things that are kind of shareable. I won't share things that I'm not allowed to share, but anything that's like online that I can find, you might want to, you can sprinkle it on chicken or anything like that. I remember Lisa on the call here, do you remember we did like lemon and peppered chicken at uni? I can remember that. I can just imagine just using sumac instead of the lemon.
Yeah. I'm going to make a chili tomorrow. I might stick some in that and see what it's like.
I'm just looking at the ingredient, and it says, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm going to pronounce it as Rus coriaria. You know what that is, Katie?
What, sorry?
On the ingredients, it says Rus coriaria.
On the ingredients, sumac berries, salt, roots, coriander. Maybe is that the? I have no idea actually. I'll ask him. I did invite him actually to come on the call because he's full of spice knowledge, but he couldn't attend this one. So if you are a subscriber and you're here again, I will make sure he comes on the call so we can grill him for some more information, and I'll find out a bit more about that.
It's Sicilian sumac.
That's what Ruth Carrier.
Yeah, it looks like it's just a variety.
Ooh. Maybe they use the berries and the.
Yeah, it says it's a plant. Rus coriaea, commonly called Sicilian sumac.
Interesting.
I'll find
Is
out.
this the same company that had that amazing pepper at the Good Food?
Yeah,
Shop?
yeah,
So good.
yeah. That's the Campo pepper. But they do all sorts of things, and I've got another upstairs. I've got another spice for the next box as well. So I'll probably be using them quite a lot because they're just incredible products, basically. Yeah, cool. But I will, if we don't go into too much detail as to any of the products, what I'll probably do is go into the group and just add like extra bits of information and links. And I might, some of the producers that we haven't seen maybe on the call, I might get them to do some content for us. So over the next few weeks and things, we'll get you knowing a bit more about the product. So yeah, cool. So that's that. Now I would like you to quickly, if you can, so I've got here's one I made earlier, but we have got some tea with us. So if you could pop your kettle on, that would be brilliant. And then we can have a little cup of tea together.
That mean the tea break?
It is kind of like a tea break, but I'm not gonna go anywhere.
Breakfast marmalade tea.
Oh yeah, that was the one thing I was thinking.
Okay. The one thing, Ollie.
Oh, nice.
I heard that, Ollie. That's the one thing that you're only the one thing you're interested in.
He's had a try of them all, don't listen.
Cool. Yeah, so if you pop your kettle on for an ace tea, that would be brilliant.
Katie, I'm thinking that sumac would make a nice rub on a shoulder of lamb, butterfly. Put in the oven, long slow cook.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. That's the sort of like the flavours that would enhance it.
Yeah, definitely.
But
or just on like a chicken breast or something as well.
yeah, flatten it out. Yeah, quick meal. Nice.
Cool.
I'll wait for the popcorn.
So yeah, so this is Ace Tea. I'll let everyone get the kettle on anyway. And I was completely drawn to the packaging on this one. So the packaging. So yeah, if you want to make yourself, I wouldn't, they say that you can have milk with it, but I prefer it without. But this is a breakfast marmalade tea. See, Joe's gone to get her kettle. I don't want to sieve too much away. I know, Susie, you know these guys. I actually don't know them personally that well. So if you do know, you know, I mean, I know that they kind of go for, it's like a non-traditional kind of like flavors. They like to be a bit interesting with what they do. And one of the ideas is oh, not one of the ideas, but the main theme is that with each of their products, it can either be served hot or cold, or also as a cocktail ingredient. I mean, what do you know about them as a business? Like, have they always been in tea, or did they have a big do you know much about the
Yeah, I do actually. It's funny. So after I won the Lorraine show, I went into business with the guy that did
you? I didn't know you knew them that well.
Oh yeah, no, I know him very well. So I launched a range of baking kits, and we sold those all over the world. And then actually the two guys I work with, they've ended up going in different directions, and one of them launched Ace Tea. So I'm very good friends with Simeon. This is his company. He has the most incredible eye and the most incredible taste buds as well. So I think all of his packaging is just so beautiful. It's the kind of thing that you want to keep out as opposed to put in a cupboard. And his flavors are really delicious as well. Yeah, just really, really great tea.
Which is your favorite flavor?
Well, my husband likes the green tea. I actually do really like this one. I've had this one many times. I've actually done a few competitions with them myself. They also have a range of tea dunkers as well that they and they match them with the teas, which is really clever. But yeah, I think maybe this one might be my favorite.
Oh, great. I'm really glad I picked it. I thought I've never seen, well, marmalade tea, and I guess you don't really, I don't know, you don't really get orange that much in teas, do you? And I just, like, I really love a really just strong builder's cup of tea. Like, that's my absolute favourite. So anything kind of that kind of marries with a black tea, I always I really like. Anything too like floral or kind of like herby, I don't love so much. So I like this, but I want to let it brew. Let it brew. So and I don't really want anyone to scold themselves trying it too quickly. Like and actually, like they recommend, it's actually quite nice cold. I've got it here, and I've yeah, let it brew. So we can leave that for a minute and let that cool. Everyone's back.
It smells amazing when you open the packet.
Yeah,
I was kind of hit with like a really strong smell. It's really nice.
I like it. And there's I saw that there's a new fruit cocktail flavour one as well, which I was like, oh, maybe I should go for that. But I love this, and if you read it as well, it's like could serve with like a broadsheet, and just that whole traditional kind of Englishy thing. Tasting notes, it says a thick cut and substantial orange marmalade breakfast tea, best served with a morning broadsheet and a slice of toast. Yeah, I like it. And also, do you know, they don't say it on the packaging, but I did have to check because obviously with tea bags these days, like there's so much plastic in use. So all the tea bags are biodegradable as well. So you just, you know, they melt away into the environment safely and without harm. So that's a bit of a plus point for me as well. So we'll leave that to cool. And I'm going to see if this gentleman is available now. And we'll have our interlude and we'll meet our other producer. If we can. So you have to excuse me, I'm hosting and adminning and trying to get people into the call as well. What do I do? Right, okay. So give me 2 seconds. If anyone is tasting now, let me know what you think of it. And what we're going to go on to this extra special pouch. And this was a bit of a bonus round for everyone because I hadn't really planned to include it. And then I thought, oh, if anyone's been watching This Morning this week, it was actually featured on there, and Philip Schofield loves it.
Rose. No, it's marmalade.
It's a seaweed one.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds. We're just going to get him into the call. So when he arrives, cool. So anyone liking this? I will have to admit, like Laura, my taste buds since COVID haven't been that brilliant. So I don't get a lot of orange, but actually I think that might be quite a nice thing.
It's not overpowering. It's not like it doesn't. It's not really orangey. It's nice. It's like a subtle orangey.
Yeah. It smells stronger than it tastes. In a nice way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I do. It's nice.
I was thinking as well, like when you try it cool, something like, because you know Novelty who do the gin, like the Earl Grey gin, well they do. I quite like the idea of putting that with gin and like on ice.
Yeah,
that'd be quite nice. Cool. So we'll wait for this person to arrive and we'll carry on. I would like to take us back to we've got our tea. What did everyone think of the Millionaire's shortbread brownie and the cookie Rolo bar? Rolo cookie bar.
That's all that's left.
Ah. Now, apologies, and I will tell you all that the Millionaires, when it arrived here, the caramel had kind of seeped out quite a lot. So I think that could be the same for quite a lot of people, that it was very sticky, right? Do you say that?
Yeah.
I got very messy.
I hate the other one.
Oh, I scoffed them both yesterday.
What do you say, Emily?
I said we scoffed them both yesterday. Yeah, no, I really like the brownie one, the Millionaire shortbread, but like you said, it had seeped out quite a bit. So I think the caramel maybe could have just been a little bit firmer. So you could kind of a little, like, I like it when you could bite through the whole thing, and it kind of obviously it kind of like squished out a bit. But it was really delicious. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. And I like the cake, the cookie bar, but my husband absolutely loved it. And I enjoyed it, but I'm always a bit, cookie dough products aren't usually my kind of favorite, because I was just think it tastes a bit like uncooked. Well, it is. It's meant to be like intentionally uncooked dough, but I just feel like it's not cooked properly. But it's still really tasty. But my husband thought it was the nicest thing that he'd had in a long time. So yeah, but the brownie was my favorite.
Mine too.
What about the other? Yeah.
Mine too.
What about the other bakers in the house? Susie, Liberty, what did you think of the bakes? They're erased to mute, unmute.
I want to do it. Hello, hi. I loved how chunky they were. Like, you get a lot in a packet. Yeah, they were just super, super sweet. And I think it's probably because I don't have a sweet tooth that it seemed really sweet, but it was lovely.
Sorry, my internet keeps going.
What did you think, Susie?
Yeah, I had the caramel issue as well, so it made it a bit more difficult to eat. It was quite sweet for me too, which is, I mean, like Liberty, actually, I bake loads, but I probably don't have as sweet a tooth as you might imagine. And the cookie bar, I agree with Emily, like, you know, and I like a cookie, but sometimes it's kind of a little bit too much of the doughiness of it, if that makes sense. So yeah, but a Millionaire shortbread, I mean, is always my favorite, so that was the one that I went for.
I don't know Emily, so she was at the Good Food Show this year, but I came across her another way, and I saw all the different flavour things she had, and thought it just looked really cool. And then so if you have a look at her, either her Instagram or Facebook account, where all the different flavours, she's quite experimental. So there was actually a cookie burrito, so a rolled up cookie with sauces and all sorts of things. And right, okay, so our second founder is just going to come into the call now, hopefully. There we go. Hello. Right, can you unmute? So work out how to do it. No one really uses Google Meet, so can you work out how to unmute? They made the brownies. Oh, it was the brownie box by Emily.
Hey.
Hey. Yes. Cool. So this is Willie Burrell. And he has supplied us with this pouch, which could be a mystery to some people.
I'll try and get this sort of bottle top bit so it makes a bit more sort of context what we're trying to do.
So the reason why I hounded for this was because Jamie, my partner, was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing I've ever tried. Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And so we had probably bought about 5 bottles over Christmas. I don't think I told.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was when Amazon had it in stock. Now it's not in stock anymore.
Buy 5, I could probably give you one for free. I should do a deal or something.
Next Christmas, I'll take that. So I know you're rushing around, and thank you very much for joining us.
No, it's an honour. It's an honour. I mean, you are just, for anyone who doesn't know, Katie has been running at the BBC Good Food Show when I met her, just the most incredible array of foods that she goes out and curates, and she finds all of these incredible producers and puts them all. If you've never been to the BBC Good Food Show, you should do it. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. There's always something new to see there, and she's just tireless, just trying to find the most cool stuff out there. She calls me every 5 years to fill the spaces, so I just turn up. You might see me once every 5 years selling booze, but I appreciate that call, Katie. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So can you tell us how best that we taste this? So this is alcohol, for anyone that just isn't clear. I did actually say that there wouldn't be any alcohol in the box because I didn't think I could do it. But yeah, sorry, there's a couple of people I think maybe that didn't manage to get a pouch. I'm really sorry if you didn't. But
how do you open it?
For anybody who didn't get a pouch, contact Amy. It's not going to be with you until next week, but I will personally send you out one. Just contact Amy, okay? So I'm
Katie.
Yeah, contact Amy. Katie. Yeah, sorry, Susie, Emily. There's Jane. There's so many names. Lisa, Jane, Josephine.
Every name except Amy, I think, right?
No, who's Amy?
Don't worry about it. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, Amy's my friend in France. I was just on the phone to you. Anyway, yeah, so for all of those people that don't have one, I will send you, it's basically a miniature in your pouch, and I suppose let's crack on. Yeah, grab yourselves a glass, open it, pow, pour it into the glass.
I can't open mine. How do you open it?
Oh, well, you should just twist it.
Yes.
Not working for you?
No.
Okay, Josephine, don't.
I've done it. I've done it.
You've done it. Okay, because you could always have scissors. Now, guys, just so you know, there's 50 ml in here, so it's just the same as a miniature, but it's a biodegradable little pouch. It's just maybe a bit better for the environment, and we're using organic ink that I kind of stamp myself, so it's just a bit better. So, first things first. Have you got them in your? You got it. Glug 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 glug. Have you got it? Okay. So, Josephine, that's it. Look at everyone. Josephine's doing it not correctly, but as the WSET, the Wine Spirit Education Trust, would have you do it. Hold the glass up and just have a look at the liquid. You're asking yourself some questions. Can you see through the liquid? Is it thick? Is it viscous? Is there a color to it? Then you put it to your nose. Okay. Away again. Back to your nose. And then away again. And then this is the top trick here. Okay. Grab your arm. Smell your skin and you neutralize your palate and go for 1/3 one. And what you should have is kind of obviously, does anybody want to shout what they smell in terms of, if you do it through the pouch, Jane, then you won't be able to smell it because it just funnels up. If you do it in a glass, then you're kind of allowing it to breathe a little bit. Anyone got any kind of, what do you think it is?
Cherries.
Okay. Any cherries. So these are sour cherries from the Vistula in Poland. They're black cherry. And you take 80% of the cherries and you take the stone out. 20% you keep the stone in. And the stone gives you that marzipan effect. However, whatever you do, never ever crack open the stone of a cherry because it's quite poisonous. So when you're doing it, you have to be very, very careful with it. Hence, this is why kind of not many people attempt to make this old cherry recipe, but it's delicious. So what you're going to do is then have that sort of maybe kind of in your mouth. This is now 40%, 40. And I always think that if you were to have this frozen as a shot next to a dessert, so say, for example, you're making like a crumble or a fruit pie or something like that. That's something that really kind of super high-end restaurants are doing at the moment. And if you have your guests over, putting little shot of something quite delicious, beautiful way to do it. For any of you who want to hit party mode, try it with some Coca-Cola, and then you have a cherry cola. Anyone remember the 90s? Delicious. And lastly, this is a little bit complicated, but all you have to do is get some coffee, whether you have Nescafe or real coffee or those pods or anything like that. Put them in a shaker, a jam jar. It doesn't really matter. Shake them up, and you're making a Black Forest espresso martini.
Oh,
Top trick: get some dark chocolate and shave it all over the top, and you'll be a rock star for life. I hope that those good tastes. Anybody who wants to know how we make it, we take all of these cherries and we sit them in some of this beautiful Polish potato vodka that we make on our family farm in Poland. We've been there for about 30 years. Now we take all of those cherries and they sit for about just under a month. Now we then take all the juice away, and all of those cherries that remain, we put a simple white granular sugar on top. And the sugar sits on the cherries and releases a secondary amount of juice. And you combine both of those back together, so you don't just have what I would describe as a one-dimensional kind of cherry. It's got sort of a bit more to it than that. And that's how you make it. And should any of you be on the social media, I will tell you one thing, just for a laugh. Last week, I was very lucky, and out of the blue, didn't know it was going to happen. They took the vodka on morning with Philip Schofield and all those people. And I'm not going to tell you what happened, but if you go and just type on Instagram or Facebook Vestal vodka, have a look at his reaction. It's quite priceless. It's exquisite.
We'll have a look.
I hope that's.
Hasn't it sold out now as well, though?
Sorry.
Hasn't it sold out? Or
we're lucky. It did sell out, but we're okay. We're back in stock.
Where's the best place to buy it from? If anyone wants to buy some.
Anybody wants to, if you just put into Amazon, they'll deliver it the next day, and they actually have the best price. It's around about between £20 and £22. If you any other kind of specialist retailer will have it, but I hate to push all of that money to Mr. Bezos, because he's rich. He's very good at what he does, and it's quite an easy way to do it.
We were buying from Amazon before Christmas, and we were so desperate to get it before Christmas. Amazon didn't have any left, and we had to pay like super duper rates to get like a bottle before Christmas. Amy was sorry.
Told me I would have driven up or gone on.
Thank you. I'll know for this Christmas.
Okay, I'm expecting at least an overnight stay and some food and maybe chats.
The kids can play with the kids in the garden, go in the hot tub, and
lock them
all that jazz.
And we could just hang out as parents. Everyone can hang out.
Deal.
I'll leave you guys to it. I have a lovely day. I hope that was kind of short and sweet, and I'm sorry that it was all a bit rushed. So have a wonderful evening. Katie, you're doing a great job. We salute you.
Thank you.
You're the greatest food curator that I know, and I hope you carry on doing it. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Have a
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Rock and roll, booze man. But great, I'm really glad he came, because I couldn't enthuse the way he does about the product. So did everyone like it?
Yeah, it's really good.
So just a little claim to fame on him and his products. So I'm a little bit of a fangirl, so is Abby, for Razorlight, the band. And in the band Razorlight if you aren't familiar, is he's fronted by a guy called Johnny Burrell, who's this like rock star. That's his brother. Yeah. And then at the last Good Food show, I was just chatting away to him about, you know, like, well, it was talking about the Mighty Boosh, actually, which Jamie's a massive fan of, which is a really weird TV program. And he was like, oh, you know that I like lived with Noel Fielding for like 3 years. I was like, what? I know, he's like rock star, famous, brushing shoulders with person. Anyway, but I love this cherry vodka and I hope you enjoyed it too. And it was great to have at Christmas. So put it on your list.
Do you have a little question, Katie?
Yeah.
How many bottles did you have at Christmas and how many bottles did we not see at Christmas?
Jamie really, really enjoyed it. Like really enjoyed it. That was his tipple of choice at home leading up to Christmas, as well as over Christmas.
I don't remember seeing it at Christmas.
We definitely had it. We did. Yeah, because Mum tried it. That's why Mum didn't get a pouch. So Mum's tried it. Anyway,
it must have been good because I don't remember.
Right, let's move on. Has anyone else had a little bit more of the marmalade tea now it's cooled?
Yes, it's lovely. Yeah,
good.
It takes a lot more flavour once it's cooled off a little bit.
Yeah. Cool. Glad you like those. We're going to go on now to taste our chocolate. So we have got 2 chocolates here from Fire Tree. And Fire Tree is it's a new to me brand. I hadn't tried it before, but I found them and I thought their kind of ethos was really exciting. So it's all nut-free, dairy-free, all vegan. I think it's something else free as well. But basically it's single estate chocolate. So I picked ones that weren't too dark because I personally don't like really, really super dark chocolate. So we've got 2 here. The idea behind like Fire Tree is a kind of a nickname for the cocoa tree. So that's kind of where that name comes from. But also the chocolate growers that they buy from are located like in, I think what they call like the Ring of Fire. So they're all volcanic islands. So each of them, that their kind of thing is that you'll get it from a volcanic island, which they say, you know, the kind of fertile soils on those islands make what they believe to be the best chocolates. So the 2 that I've picked here, we've got the I had to make sure I pronounce these properly, so I did Google this earlier. So the darker purple one is from the Solomon Islands, and this is a Guadalcanal, and then the other one is from the Philippines, and that's Mindano, yes. So one's at 69% and one's at 73%. Now I'm going to give you a really quick how-to in terms of tasting chocolate. The person that I know that knows the most about chocolate in the world is Jennifer Earle. And if you don't follow her, she is the @chocolate guide on Twitter, but Jennifer.Earle on Instagram. But she basically does chocolate tours like around London, or she was anyway. She was doing these mystery chocolate tastings, and actually when she was doing these mystery online chocolate tastings, Abby, my sister, and I did one of them, and it kind of got me thinking, and it's kind of planted a bit of a seed for these tasting sessions as well. So like this is her kind of like guide to tasting. She is like a proper chocolate expert. So before we taste, we look at the chocolate. So we look for a shine. So if you want to if we take out the 69%, the darker of the 2 out first, I really like the packaging, and I really like the fact that they're sort of smaller bars, which enabled me to be able to buy 2 of them to put into the box, so we could like do a taste comparison. So she says like the fresh quality chocolate should always be shiny. So if the surface is matte or dull, that's like or uneven, that's a kind of a sign of a not a great chocolate. So it looks pretty shiny to me. And then we listen. So even if it's like a room temperature chocolate, hopefully yours is, she says that if you snap it, you should hear a sharp click. So if you want to snap it. And the brighter the snap, the fresher and better cared for the chocolate is likely to be. So I'm getting a nice snap. She sort of goes over the touch of it, and that, you know, if it's made with cocoa butter, that it should melt at room temperature as well. So if it was in your hand, it would start to melt. Now, if we smell it first, you should get a real. It's probably got cherries still in your mouth. Have a proper smell. Because once you've tasted it, you can't kind of go back to that smell that you've got, apparently. And then if we go into the taste, so apparently chocolate's the most flavor complex food in the world, so which I think is incredible. So all those different flavors that you can get just from a cocoa bean or from chocolate. So she tells us to go slowly. So after placing a piece in your mouth, try to keep it in there as long as possible, biting it only a little and letting it melt naturally. Try blocking your ears and close your eyes to fully focus without sensory distraction. So, earmuffs. Now, what the tasting notes say of this one is that we should be tasting red fruit, citrus, and plum. Is anyone getting that from the
I'm
chocolate?
getting the plum.
Plum.
We're getting citrus.
I definitely, when you read something, it kind of influences you. So that red fruit, you kind of got that tartness of the red fruit. Anyone getting anything else? Blackcurrant, did someone say?
I'm getting a bit of cherry, and I don't know whether it's because obviously I've just had the cherry, the vodka, but it definitely complements that really well. Like, it's really good together. That's probably what I would shave over the top of my Black Forest espresso martini. That'd be nice.
And so just to confirm, this is just chocolate. So any of these flavors that we're picking up on are purely just from like where they're grown, from the soil, and that's called like terroir, which I always sound like a bit crap saying. But basically the flavors from the ground that it's grown in. So wine, like all the like different regions that they're grown in. It's the same for chocolate, that you can get, you know, so many different flavor profiles from where it's grown, how it's then fermented. But these guys do a brilliant job of looking after like their growers and things like that as well.
What did you say that was called?
The company.
Oh no, when you can taste where it's
Terroir. So TERROIR, and then the terroir of where it's from. So yeah, but obviously I don't know how you'd say it without sounding like terroir. There was a company at the Good Food Show, London, years ago. I don't know if you remember them, Emily. They were called Totally Terroir.
Yeah,
every time we tried to say it, we went Totally Terroir. And just sounded really stupid every time we said it. So let's try the other one. And let's see if we can pick up any differences between the two, like the two different islands. Obviously, opening the packet actually gives away, you know, the tasting notes, but refer to that as you will. And I noticed as well that they're based in Peterborough, which I only realised earlier on. I hadn't realised that they were East Anglia. Okay, same for that one. Have another sniff.
Katie, do you think the advice Johnny's brother, what's his name, gave about
Willie?
Willie.
I was going to have to confirm. Is it Willie, or I don't really like saying Willie, but I called him William once. He said, "Oh, that's formal," and I'm like, Will? I can't say Willie. William. Yeah,
He suggested smelling your arm, didn't he, to neutralise your palate? So I don't know whether that will work with between the chocolates as well. So
we shall.
But I'm going to remember that.
Oh, and actually,
I think it does.
Does it?
I think so. I feel like I've got a much more powerful hit.
I'm going to get
afterwards.
Might be good to have the tea actually between.
I had the kombucha.
Jennifer always said that actually the best thing to have between tasting chocolates is warm water, because cold water won't, wash, melt the chocolate away enough. So having warm water is supposed to be the thing to taste, to have between tasting chocolate.
It's the tea actually complements it really well as well.
That's
really yummy.
Has anyone got a favourite between those two?
Oh, I haven't tried it yet.
The first one, the Solomon Islands.
The first one.
So this one, they suggest citrus, honey, and caramel.
Definitely getting the caramel from that one. It's almost and it's lovely. I really like the pretty thin one. It's nice and zingy, but that one's just quite sort of warming. Even although it's a much higher cocoa, it's 73% cocoa, it's a much darker chocolate, but you really get the sort of warm tones of the caramel in that one.
Yeah, it's a bit more mellow, isn't it?
I can taste the honey back note, but I'm not. I prefer the other one.
I think I prefer the other one.
If anyone's interested as well, I can share one of these. I was going to pop them in the box because I had a few from the show, but this is Jennifer Earle's chocolate tasting wheel, the actual wheel. And it's really useful for sort of looking at flavour notes. There's things that they have like wheels like this for things like cheese as well. But this is her own developed, like an actual flavour profile for chocolate. So it's really, really useful. And again, if you ever need an expert in chocolate, she's absolutely amazing. Cool. So I'll let you enjoy the rest of that chocolate in your time. But I hope you enjoyed that. They do also do like a tasting box where they've got lots of those little bars in, which I thought was really nice. A nice way to be able to taste chocolate, because sometimes, they're not cheap chocolate, and to buy a big bar of it to not know whether you're going to like it or not, it's quite nice to have like little bars.
It's also really nice to just let it melt in your mouth. Like I don't think I really ever eat. I mean, I'm not a massive dark chocolate fan. I don't normally buy it, but it's actually so much like smoother and creamier to let it melt in your mouth rather than chewing it. It's really, really nice to do it like that.
Good. Glad you enjoyed it. Cool. So now we're going on to, so this one is probably going to be a bit contrasting. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but we're going to try the little green jar, which I don't know, hopefully you've worked it out, is pistachio butter. Now this is just pistachio. So when I bought this, I'll be completely honest, I've had sort of like pistachio butters in the past that have had added kind of sugar and maybe cream. So for me, I was expecting something quite sweet and creamy. This is pure 100% pistachio. So without salt, without sugar, anything like that. So obviously if you've got a nut allergy, keep away. Hopefully you would have told me about that, or you wouldn't have gone for a mystery box. But try it. Try a spoonful. It is pretty intense, I'll say that. Now, the way I've eaten this so far is to have it with just on like a rice cracker with some salt. I love salt, but I would have thought putting some honey with it could probably help. But I'll let everyone have a little taste. Now I'm hoping that you probably won't be able to talk after you've put some of this in your mouth.
Love that.
Oh, where's my spoon gone?
That's mine. You have that.
I reckon that'd be a really nice little piece of bread.
You probably need you too.
Where'd you put my spoon?
Oh no.
Abby, I wasn't sure whether to give you that because of John, but I thought you could keep it with your secret stash of peanut butter that you've got somewhere. I know you probably have.
The colour's amazing.
That's not what I thought it was going to taste like.
It's a bit more bitter, isn't it?
It's really nice. But
You like it?
Mm.
I think using it in something like, I was imagining doing like brownies and maybe putting a swirl in. Liberty, what about you? What are you thinking of? What could you do with it? I can see your brain whirring.
Or like breakfast pastries, if you like dollop some in the middle, or brownies, absolutely.
What about you, Susie? Any ideas?
So I'm going to be a bit controversial. I think it needs the salt. I think it's really missing the salt. So I judged 2 pistachio butters last year at the Great Taste Awards, and they were saltier and they had the flavor developed more, and it kind of just lifted that nut flavor as well. I wouldn't eat pistachios unsalted, I don't think. So I don't think I would have the butter unsalted either. So it's very nice. I like the texture. I love the color. I love how natural it is. But for me, it needs more salt. So I wouldn't necessarily be able to use it without adding extra salt in.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they'd sell it, but then when you take it home, you would also add salt and sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have had one before where because I had a sweet one before, which I can't remember the brand now, but Katie, you probably remember. But it was really
Nut Kitchen.
Is that what it was? Yeah, Nut Kitchen, and it was really sweet and creamy, and just like you could just literally eat it out the jar with a spoon, and it was absolutely delicious. But that does have like that sweetness, so that kind of like serves that purpose. But this one, out of all of the non-sweetened ones, this is actually not as bitter as some of the other ones I've tasted. Because there was one, I can't remember what brand it was, but I assumed, because the Nut Kitchen one was the first pistachio butter I'd tried, so I assumed all pistachio butters were like that, and I bought another one, and it was obviously not sweetened, and it was quite bitter and just not that pleasant to eat on its own. And this one, actually, for a non-sweetened or non-salted, I do think it's nice, but I do agree with Susie about the salt element, because I do think that would massively lift it. But compared to that other one I had, and I can't remember what that was, but it's tasty.
What about anyone who's a non-baker? Would you use it for anything? What about Kath? Tanya, what do you think?
I like it. We've just put some salt with it. We've just been and got the salt.
Oh, well done.
Just to try.
Yeah.
You prefer try with salt.
They say to put it in smoothies and to put it on like porridge and things like that. Because I think I don't really know the specific health benefits of pistachios, but I know that they are really healthy. But yeah, I was really drawn to it, and I think that I was quite, I think having, like Emily tried the like really sweet ones before and things. So, but then I guess maybe it's something that you can be more creative with to kind of like either make it sweet or could you use it in something savoury.
It's not as thick as peanut butter, is it? Like you could use it.
Yeah.
Slightly different to peanut butter. I feel like you can mod.
I think it's something you could use like flexible. So you could use it for sweet and savoury.
Yeah.
Not so much spreading on your toast. If you're going to do that, or your crumpet, you need to sprinkle some sea salt on it or something to get that kind of peanut butter effect. But it's not. It's something completely different. But I get a lovely sort of like flavour from it, and it's lovely. It ticks all the boxes. But you can use it in all sorts of things. Swirled in a cheesecake, maybe.
Oh yeah.
You know, to give that pistachio hit.
Yeah, if anyone's the idea of the Facebook group is that if anyone's got any ideas following this, or they try it, to share it in there, so we could all have a go at like different recipes and things like that, or share ideas really. Cool. I'll leave that one there, and then all we should have left is our popcorn. 2 popcorns. So the first one that we're going to try is the original one. So I say the original, it's the original to me, but a lot of you will probably have seen Joe and Steph's before because they've been around for a while, but I genuinely believe that they make like the best kind of these gourmet popcorns. And when they first started, they came to the Good Food Show in like 2010, and I don't know if Emily probably remembers, I think they were like the first people you booked in, weren't they, to the Good Food Show? It's Emily works on the show. And they basically had these huge plastic tubs of like the popcorn, and they were shoveling them and like filling these pouches at the show, and like it was like way before, you know, they're pretty big now. But this one is the one, Lynn actually noted that the Great Taste Award that they've got on here is like from 2011, and I think technically that's probably a bit naughty that they're using like an old award, but
that's a long time ago, isn't it? Actually,
it is a long time ago, 11 years, but I think potentially was it one of the first like awards that they ever won. And they do so many different flavors now, every time, like if I ever see them at a show, I'll always go back to this one. And this is the one that they called Joe, who's the owner of he was sort of like the founder, and then his son Adam got really involved, and he got me to try this one first, and he was so excited when he was telling me, like getting me to try it. And they kind of coined him as the Willy Wonka of popcorn because of the different flavorings. So pop this one into your mouth and have a taste of this one and see how the different flavors develop.
It's a chili on that.
Yeah. I have to confess, opening mine on Saturday and it's gone. None left.
Has it?
Tonic one.
I mean, they're a bit Pringle-like, aren't they? Once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you open it, you're done for.
So the way Joe kind of explained it, you'll get the initial sweetness, and then you get that chili kick, and then following that you get the black pepper kind of after, sort of like lingering there.
That's the sweetness.
That's exactly what I'm getting, Kate.
Yeah, you get the pepper in the back. I think it hits you because pepper is meant to agitate your taste buds.
Lovely.
So good.
And then something savoury on.
Now, who found the sriracha too hot? Is this heat level okay, Joe? Just about.
Good.
It's not. It takes you to a heat level, and then it's just sort of.
Just about. I think I'm getting the hotness more from the pepper than the chili. Which I think, which is a little bit better than the chili.
That is lovely. I'd never think of trying it.
Yeah, this is why
lovely.
I really want to include it, because I think it's one of those things that someone you wouldn't necessarily choose, but I think going back to the origins of the company, and they just do. There's so many different flavors now, but I as I say, I always go back to that experience of this one.
It's lovely. I think it's the salted caramel one I like, or is it a double caramel one? I can't remember which it is. It's some caramel one that there's that I absolutely love. But I only buy it very, very occasionally. It's a very special treat. It's lovely.
yeah, they're doing all sorts of different innovations now. They've got loads of like slabs and chocolate bars with all popcorn in and things like that. And then I chose gin and tonic, so I just thought it would be quite interesting. I think I might have struggled a little bit because since COVID, I'm not really tasting that much. Obviously, the chili one was amazing. So I'll have to let you tell me what you think of this and if you're getting the gin from it. Apparently, it is 5% gin, which quite significant.
Another one now.
Gin and tonic.
I'm teetotal, so I'm going to save this one for book club and take this for the girls because they'll love this.
Cool.
So I will feed back next week when I've been to book club.
Yeah.
What I like about it is the actual shape of popcorn, because if you buy the sort of popcorn from the supermarket, they're really sort of unusual shapes. They're like your stereotypical popcorn shape, but these ones are almost perfect spheres, and that just gave me pleasure when I was eating them.
I think what do they call the mushroom? I think they call mushroom popcorn.
Yeah. And I looked it up because I was interested, and apparently the hotter the oil or the air or whatever you pop them in, it's got to be intensely hot, and that's what makes them more round. If it's not quite hot enough, they pop unevenly. And then I got into watching slow-mo popping. That's quite difficult to say. So I spent about 20 minutes watching slow motion popcorn popping. It's great fun. You should look it up.
That's quite relaxing. Like, cool. What do we think of this flavour then? Are we getting the gin?
No, I know, but no.
Yeah.
Nice.
A little bit.
Are you getting the gin?
All I can
Yeah,
say is I'm glad I'm not working tomorrow.
Were you going to say something, Liberty?
Yeah, I really like their popcorn. It's just all of the alcohol ones just never really taste of booze. I just wonder what they do and like how they get it in there. Like,
they have they actually sell their caramels as well. I think you can get the caramel.
Oh yeah, they're delicious.
So I assume they kind of put into the caramel. But again, you kind of when you get promised booze and like the idea of a gin and tonic, it kind of, I don't know if it translates that's well into a sweet popcorn. But I
like prosecco ones that you're like, yeah.
I agree with Liberty. Actually, I've got a funny story. So during lockdown, when you could only do your one walk a day, I went for a walk around the corner and I saw a neighbour, and she was due to work at a film premiere that obviously got cancelled, and everyone at the premiere was going to be given that Joe and Steph's gin and tonic popcorn. And she said, "Would you like to try some?" And she came out with a giant Ocado bag filled with these mini bags of popcorn and obviously put it in the middle of her driveway. And then I went and got it because we couldn't have any contact. And I was really excited to try. And also, it was a bit disappointed because I wanted to. I didn't want to get drunk on popcorn, but you know, like that was the most exciting thing to happen in my life at that particular time. So I wanted to taste the gin, and I didn't get it. So yeah, it's citrusy, and you get the fizz kind of the tonic, but not quite. I think you need to drink the gin to get the full effect of the gin.
I don't even get the tonic, to be honest. I mean, it's really tasty and it's a really nice. I mean, I love popcorn, and this is like a really yummy popcorn because it's just, you can tell that it's just really flavoursome. But I don't get either the gin or the tonic. And I don't know whether, because the other one's quite strong, so maybe my palate is just a little bit not susceptible to it. But I don't know. Like it's really nice and I like the flavour. I just, blind tasting, I would not be able to pin out gin or tonic.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really tasty. I mean, I could polish off the whole bag, but
yeah,
I'm really pleased that it doesn't taste like gin and tonic, because I don't think popcorn and gin and tonic should exist, or gin and tonic flavored popcorn should happen. But I think it tastes delicious, which is really good, because I thought that was going to be really weird having a gin and tonic flavor.
Good.
Popcorn. So, happy days. Really like.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you like kind of like them, but it's worth trying. This is the thing. Like I kind of you know, you see all these things and it's like, what are you missing out on? So at least we know we're not missing out on loads with the gin and tonic popcorn. But yeah, still really nice to eat. And I'm sure your book club friends, Laura, will like it as well.
Oh, absolutely. Anything. I'm saving the cherry vodka. I'm sure they'll all be fighting over that. So
yeah,
I'll have to have a sip each.
So who's got like a standout? Here comes the cat, Joe.
Yeah. Again.
Has anyone had any like revelations tonight with their products that they've tried or anything that they've really?
This kombucha I've not had before. I like that. I'd drink that again.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd never even heard of. I'm not.
Even when I opened it and smelled it, I didn't think it smelled very nice. It smells vinegary, but I thought it tasted much nicer than it smells.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
And I'd have that again. These are very nice.
Yeah.
It would manage more stuff.
Chocolate's nice.
I love
that tea tasted quite nice after it stood a while. And I would actually drink that, and I'm not a real tea drinker, but sometimes these infusions, you just think you've got to just drink them without the milk, but putting milk in that has actually made it a nice drink. So,
That's what I thought. I like to have the milk, but it's almost like
I didn't think the milk going in it would be right, but it actually worked. So anyway.
Cool.
I'll try that in the
I
morning.
might have a beer later.
I must admit, I did like the vodka.
We didn't get any of that.
Sorry. I know, Liberty, you didn't get one either.
I know where it is.
I know I took you to have a little taste at the Good Food Show, didn't I? So I didn't.
Finally sent a bottle and I drank the whole thing over Christmas, so it's fine.
I did think that. Brilliant. Cool. Thank you so much, everybody, for being so brilliant tonight at this first tasting. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And anyone got any other questions or anything like that before we say goodbye? Brilliant.
When's the next one?
It's been so good.
Oh, good. Well, so my plan is to do them every 3 months, because it's quite a whole house transforming exercise to have like the house with boxes of food and things. But I love doing it, and I feel like, you know, even just starting, like we had COVID a few weeks ago and it kind of put me back a good couple of weeks. It's been quite a stressful few months in trying to get this done. I had a lot of issues with postage, so I've told a few people, but iron out the creases, and I really like doing this. And there's lots of producers that have kind of said that they'd really love to be included in the box. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some really interesting products to share with you guys. Yeah, and I think it just kind of combines really well with what I'm doing at the Good Food Shows, with the tasting theatres, and hopefully yeah, it's the way for me to do things that, you know, actually like bring to life what I share with people as well. So yeah, so thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you in 3 months. About 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Looking forward to it already.
It was great. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you very much. It's been brilliant.
Thank you, Katie.
You're so welcome. We'll see Kath and Tanya over in there in the corner, hopefully at all my tasting sessions at the June show.
Yeah, you will.
And anyone else who comes along as well, come and see me. Cool. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Gonna stop recording.
I don't know how to turn it off.
There we go.
Have we just got